Game Time is back. There's nothing like the energy of a Major League Soccer match, the chants, the atmosphere, the last-minute goals. If you want to experience it all live, Game Time makes getting tickets easier than ever with last-minute deals, all-in pricing, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time makes getting the guesswork out of buying your MLS tickets. Plus, ticket prices actually drop as Game Time gets closer, so you can score amazing seats at a great price. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDON for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
What time is it? Game time.
So with Cam Ward out of the running for the assumption of this next topic, we put up two separate polls and got two separate answers.
Stunning, shocking.
In terms of who the Browns should take at number 2. I'm going to give you these two results, and then we'll discuss why we think there's a little difference and who you guys would take if you were in that situation. So first, we put it on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. We got 1,600 responses, more than 1,600 responses to this poll on Twitter. 51% of Twitter users voted for Shedeur Sanders. 25.5% voted for Abdul Carter. 10.7% voted for Travis Hunter, and 12.8% voted to trade back, assuming Cam Ward was not available. So remember this.
More people wanted to trade back than draft Travis Hunter.
51 for Shedeur, 25.5 for Abdul, 10.7 for Travis, 12.8 for trade back. That is on Twitter.
Okay.
Now, YouTube, we got over 2,200 votes. Shedeur Sanders dropped from 51%
So bizarre.
to 25%. Abdul Carter jumped from 25% to 41%. Travis Hunter still the lowest of the three, but he did rise to 13%, and 21% said trade back.
So first of all, before we analyze, as our resident social media expert and YouTube expert, what do you make of the two polls being dramatically different?
The YouTube crowd is a visual crowd. So when you go and you log on and you look at Abdul Carter highlights, you look at Travis Hunter highlights, you look at all these different things, these people fancy themselves as scouts. I've seen the highlights. I don't like what I saw right here. Now, you know what? Abdul Carter is because think about it. You can watch Shedeur Sanders throw interceptions all day, right? You can watch the reads where people break it down. How many times do you see somebody break it down and be like, ooh, Abdul Carter got driven from the 5-yard line to the 15. Wow, he looks like he's out of his gap right here. Matter of fact, he got enveloped by that tackle. Look, he missed the tackle. Is he big enough to play that position? Oh, you got pancaked. All you see is that. Running somebody that back, doing a nice little, look, he got a number 11. He looked like LeVar Arrington. He might be Micah Parsons. Who knows? Look at him dancing, moving around. Look how fast and smooth he is.
I think Tyvis weighs more than he does.
Hey, look, he's out here like a Thundercat.
I do weigh more than him right
and
now.
then you get your digging.
That's a shame. That's a shame.
Hold on.
Liquid diet.
Hey, hold on. This is no. I'm glad you brought that up. I don't think y'all understand something. That man weighing less than Tyvis.
What's that supposed to mean?
That means run game to his side.
Oh, that's
power.
What I say.
Tight end over here. We running that power. We coming down with the crack block. We got the fullback. Listen, I'm telling you, people. Oh, he's not that big. It's not that big of a deal. Right now, you cannot play Abdul Carter no 3 downs. And trust me. And by the way, I want you to refute it. I'm 300 some plus pounds.
Oh, I can refute that.
He not 3 downs right now.
He did at Penn State last year.
That's college.
So what?
Bro.
Big difference.
Notre Dame got a good offensive line.
And guess what? In Notre Dame, guess what happened? Listen, when Penn State lost in that game, what was they doing? They couldn't even throw the ball. Run! Run! Couldn't throw the ball. Run! Listen, this is my problem with people.
He just did it, though. To sit there and say that he can't play 3 downs and he just did it for a full season.
But doing it in college.
So what?
Travis Hunter played every.
So some of these college players ain't going to the league?
Travis Hunter played every play in college. He playing every play in the NFL?
He could.
No.
But he's not going to.
He said he built different.
By the way, Abdul Carter.
Just because we ain't seen it don't mean it can't be done.
He didn't have no shoulder when he was playing. He had a shoulder.
Who?
Abdul Carter. He had a shoulder. It was wrapped up like a baby.
And was out there with one hand causing havoc.
Listen.
He did. He had 2 sacks.
Okay.
He had 2 sacks.
hold on.
Let me clear it up. He had 2 sacks,
okay,
but that was Donovan Jackson's first game at left tackle. So there you go.
Abdul Carter is a great player. All I'm saying is when you look at the difference between the polls, it's very easy for everybody to be a quarterback guru. It's very, very hard for people to be like, he's a 250-some-odd pound defensive end who gets sacks. I need to know what you're going to do on downs 1 and 2 and in base packages at the end of the day. To me, I don't think he has the impact that a quarterback has. Now, if it was a draft that Abdul Carter, we had the quarterback, I'd take him all day, boo, because I'm going to use it to stack with Myles Garrett. If it was Travis Hunter and I'd take him all day if I had a quarterback. The only reason I'm telling you sitting here today is the notion that you can take a luxury secondary pass rusher over a quarterback if you don't have one is insane. It's insane.
Who would you take, Tyvis?
It's insane, Tyvis.
I mean, this thing it goes back and forth because, like, I don't know all the moves that we make. Like, are they going to sign Russ?
That's irrelevant.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
You can't let whether you sign Russell Wilson or not.
It changes things.
That's crazy. If you let whether or not Russell Wilson is on the team determine whether you're going to draft a quarterback or not, then you're an idiot as a GM.
What it does is it buys you time. That's what I think Russ does.
But
because if you truly think that Cam is the only quarterback that's really that good in this draft, then you sign Russ. All right, that means that to me, that's me. That's you telling me I'm getting my quarterback next year. That's what you're telling me.
It comes to me. I'm drafting Shedeur Sanders. I don't have all the information, right? I don't know what he's like personally. I've never talked to the guy. I'm not a quarterback evaluator. I'm not sure how his talent will translate to the NFL. The knowledge that I have, which is limited, just like every other fan has limited knowledge of a player because you don't get to know them, tells me I would take him. And I've changed my opinion from like a month ago where I said I wouldn't take a quarterback besides Cam Ward. So I've changed my mind. I would take him if I were the Browns. However, the Browns have more information that I don't have. And I have no choice but to give the GM the benefit of the doubt. If he truly believes that Shedeur Sanders is not good, then he shouldn't just take him just to take a quarterback. That's always been the case. But if he believes that Shedeur Sanders is good, it's a no-brainer. There's no conversation. Nothing else matters.
If the Browns think Shedeur Sanders is good, he is a layup on this.
That's a layup.
Because of the simple fact that he just ran your offense. It was collegiate style because it was in the spread. But it's your offense. It's just you just got to get him under center. It's literally the same thing. So if that's the case, and he comes in knowing your concept, he knows exactly what you want to do. Why would you not?
You're not worried about the pressure?
No, because he's dealt with that all his life, he didn't have a line, so he still made throws happen. To me, like that, it seems like that's where I would go. But I also understand why everybody's saying other things. Like if you're telling me, because I do like the Tyler Shuck kid, if you're telling me he's gonna be there at the 33rd pick, then I could take a Hunter or a Carter with 2 and then get him at 33 and still be fine.
And Shook better be better than Sanders then.
Can you tell me really quickly as I set this up?
Everybody say the tape say he is.
What did the Broncos trade for Russell Wilson?
1 sec.
Oh, it was the worst trade in history.
So let me I'm just
the Deshaun Watson trade was the worst trade.
It was the worst contract in history.
Okay, so
the worst trade in history actually is Trey Lance, but nobody ever talk about it.
I do talk
about
the
worst contract is Deshaun Watson.
All right, here's what it is, G.
Okay.
The Broncos traded Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and Shelby Harris. Plus 2 first-round picks. Number 9 overall in 22, plus their 23 first-round pick. 2 second-round picks, number 40 in 22 and 1 in 2023, and a 5th-round selection for Russell Wilson and a 4th-round pick.
The Watson trade was worse than that. It was 3 first-round picks.
And then they gave him a $245 million extension, correct?
Well, but not all of that was guaranteed.
Before he
they gave him a big extension. I don't know the number, but it was a big extension.
The extension 5-year, $245. Now let me tell you this.
Before he played a game for him.
Now let me tell you this. Cleveland Browns
Same
fans.
thing with Watson.
Cleveland Browns fans.
They'll never do it
we
again.
know what the Deshaun Watson trade is. So now you're advocating for us to go and make a move for the second worst trade in the history of mankind. So you had Deshaun Watson. Your last 2 QBs that was going to save you was Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson in this contract. And you do it back-to-back. all because you don't want to draft a rookie? Are you crazy?
What are you talking about?
I'm looking at, listen, as the pantheon of time goes down the list, you're like, who we should do at quarterback? Here's what the Cleveland.
I just said I would take Tyler Shough in the second round.
I
said if he gonna be there at 33, I said I'd take him.
I'm trying to dominate the audience now. Unacceptable. You still talk about Russell Wilson. He won $40 million. He fleecing you.
Listen.
He won $40
Russell,
million.
listen, you ain't getting 40.
So you're advocating that some people are really being like, oh, so the Steelers got fleeced with Kenny Pickett. We'll take him too. Make him a starter. Nope, that's not enough. Let's go and look at Russ. And you'd be like, well, listen, the Broncos took the biggest cap hit in the history of mankind just to get him off the team and then drafted a rookie and then went to the playoffs, Bull. Mm-hmm. These are the guys that are in contention for you?
No, not for me.
Thank you. I'll take anything. That's why
don't say for me either. I'm about to say I didn't say. Listen, everybody knows that
What Bull is saying is if those are your options in front of you and those are the moves you're making, if you see any one of these dudes, whether it's Sluffaluffagus, Dart, Milrow, whatever you want, stand there and take this quarterback and get it done with. All this rest of this Carson Wentz noise, this is wild to me. Like, no, I'm not doing that.
I don't care if they sign another veteran, but that cannot stop them.
They're going to sign another veteran.
That can't stop them from drafting a quarterback.
No, I agree.
That's it.
I agree with you.
So if the
Browns,
Browns,
the only issue is you taking it at 2 or 33. That's my only thing.
I don't think you can wait for 33. I think I'm with McNuggets. I believe that any quarterback you take, you must move to the first round to get him to even maximize on the 5-year rule.
I totally agree.
Trade
up from 33 to 28.
Jalen Hurts did well.
Well, listen.
Second round pick.
Now, if they would have did it overall again, I believe they would have traded up and said, let me get him.
Who did the Eagles take first round in there?
I thought it was Jalen Carter.
No, Jalen Carter just got in the league.
No, I don't remember.
The fact I think they took Jalen Rager,
who stunk.
Yeah.
Wide receiver.
But what I'm saying is they was able to maximize it because they realized Jalen Hurts would be a second round quarterback, so they was able to use their first round pick to get a guy who they thought was better talent.
Right.
In that case,
they still hit on the quarterback.
In that case, it worked out, and maybe the same thing will end up with the Browns.
I mean,
maybe they end up taking a quarterback in the second round, and maybe that guy ends up being the second best quarterback in the draft.
Think about
possible,
this,
but
where is Andrew Berry? Where did he come from?
Philly.
Okay, so he understands. Was he there when they got Jalen Hurts? Was he? I
think so. No, he was here already.
Oh, okay.
He was in Cleveland that year.
Yeah.
He was not there.
If you just watch them win the Super Bowl and you seen their little concept of what they doing and you're from that concept, you don't think that he's watching
they
that?
They didn't
didn't
purposely do it. They got lucky that it worked out.
So why can't the Browns get lucky?
They might, but the Browns have a history of not getting lucky. So, again, I'm not saying that's impossible. There are some good quarterbacks in the league that were drafted early in the second round, but the majority of the good starters in the league are first-round picks.
And why don't we give, for whatever we talk about with Sirianni, give the man credit. He went to a Super Bowl. They sucked the next year. They was trying to get rid of him. Guess what?
He shaved his head and they didn't lose another game.
Came right back and was like, you know what? We need to get this running game going. Let me go get Saquon Barkley. Nobody was getting running backs in free agency. He re-signed A.J. Brown. They was like, man, you going to pay another receiver that another? Re-signed him, did his thing. He lost some pass rushers, rekindled that. Listen, they did what they were supposed to do. Like the Browns, if they're going to take somebody, they're not going to be a end-all, be-all, ready-made prospect. Kevin Stefanski is going to have to earn his money. And yes, the spotlight is brighter when you're not dealing with retreads and when you got a rookie quarterback. People are going to be wanting to see what Shedeur Sanders is going to be doing. So deal with it. But yeah, no retreads. We're not going to do that.
So let me ask you this before we move off this topic. Let's say that they did not take the quarterback at 2. And
I'm taking Travis Hunter.
Okay.
I'm doing it.
I'm glad you asked. That was what I was going to ask before we moved on.
Yes.
Hunter or Carter, those are your options.
To me, it's Hunter every time.
Easy money. Listen, this is the fallacy that the people are operating under. People are operating on the fact that defensive linemen and offensive linemen are somehow safe.
That's bullshit. Yeah.
That is completely that's complete. Do you want me to keep going down?
You know why? You know why the answer is Hunter over Carter?
Why?
Why people? I know people gonna be like, "Are you insane?"
What's that?
because in this draft, they have always said that if you need an edge rusher, it's like 50 of them in this draft. If you need a wide receiver, though, it's
zero.
like maybe 2 or 3.
And that dude,
like 3
that dude, T-Mac, is out here looking like Drake London's little cousin.
That's right.
He's out here walking around. I'm like, I don't know if T-Mac is going to be good. And listen, if you want to say build through the draft all the time, I can go back. How did Cameron Wembley work for y'all? Edge rusher. What about Barkevious Mingo? Edge rusher. What about Danny Shelton? Not good. What about Gerard Ward? I can keep going. I got these as top picks. What about Cam Irving, number 15? Not doing nothing. What about Jeff Faye, the center? Not doing nothing. I can do this Courtney Brown.
You missed the number 1 pick.
Listen, why are
What about Myles Garrett?
1 out of 35.
So you're telling me
If you get Reggie White, there's a chance. Oh, you guys out there. Listen, I dominated these first 2 segments. Put it in the comment section.
By the way,
you're out of here.
Not only are wide receivers hard to get, but wide receivers that could also play some corner are one of one.
Well, I mean, if you move it off of G Newsom.
So to me, it's Shedeur or Hunter. That's
or
my
MJ
choice.
Emerson. I mean, it's
and you know what? I don't like the Bull be calm now. Because he got all his receivers, all his people sold up.
Ain't got no defense.
He's over there like, listen.
Mike was doing a lot of trash talk in poverty franchise. I don't hear that from him anymore.
Jay dropped 2 bags at the same time. I know they wasn't shopping for that designer. I know Chase and Higgins.
You ain't see him in the car?
But
they was all in the whips yesterday. Or was that yesterday or 2 days ago?
Man, boy.
Jamar Chase got his dream car. What was it? Was it a Lambo? I think he got.
Last thing. Well, Todd was thinking of what car Jamar got, but Todd McShay put out his receiver rankings yesterday. He had Travis Hunter as just a receiver, as his number 1 receiver in the class, and Compton to Garrett Wilson. Tyvis, I know it's a Buckeye that you follow. Do you see, and do you think if he is used as a primary receiver, Hunter is that level of upside as a wide receiver in the NFL level?
The reason that he's so good is because outside of just the fact that he's fast and all those things, like that dude gets the ball. Like that's what you want. You throw a 50-50 ball, chances are he gonna come down with it. And that's what you want. You know, so many times you gotta throw guys open. No, he's a guy that gets the ball. And right now, that's kind of what you need on offense, right? You got Judy's great. I think he's more of a body catcher himself. But anyways, you need another guy that can at least take some pressure off of Judy, because everybody right now coming into the season, David Njoku didn't have a great season, so everybody's going to be game planning for Jerry Judy, and you got to have something opposite of that, and he's a guy that's going to do that. And I think that's why, to me, when you look at everybody else, like T-Mac had some exceptional games. I think he had like 300 yards in 1 game or something like that. He's done well, but he has separation problems. Like he doesn't create enough separation. And if you're telling me you go into the league and you can't create separation in your routes, dude, I'm going to be all over you. And I'm deflecting that. So that's a problem for me. Emeka's great. Emeka's can play inside and outside. If he's not going to be in the first round, the Browns should definitely look at him at a 33 pick as well if they don't take a receiver.
Problem is he 4'6".
Who?
About 4'6".
Emeka?
He look like
Is you insane?
He run 4'6".
Emeka probably one of the most athletic dudes
I'll ask this question again. I think we talked about it last week. I can't remember now when we talked about it or who was here at the time.
And Luther Burden is a dog,
I know you were here, Tyvis. I'm not sure if G was here when we had this conversation, but what quarterback, besides Shedeur and Cam Ward, what quarterback do you like the most? If you had to pick amongst the rest, who would you take?
Well, I told you.
We only get 1 pick.
Jackson Dart, and who would you take?
I mean, there's only 2 options. It's only Jackson Dart or Tyler Shuck. Will Howard.
Could be Jalen Milroe.
Listen, the Jalen Milroe thing, man.
Listen,
Sean's got some thoughts on Jalen Milroe too. So we get to that. That's gonna be a fun part.
My thing about Jalen Milroe is because Todd was talking about. I think it was Todd. Was it Todd McShay that was talking about Jalen Milroe?
Yeah, he likes him.
Well, if you put him in Kevin's offense, like the boot thing does seem interesting. But
that's it.
But he throws a great deep ball. Like that's the craziest thing to me.
There's no intermediate game.
Oh yeah, but when you think about Kevin's offense, the bang gate, that's intermediate. When you run a bootleg and you're looking for that tight end, that's an intermediate route. All
right, so Dart or Shuck, who you like better?
Ah.
Shuck, sorry.
I like Shuck.
I like Shuck.
All right. So let me ask you this, G. I'll ask you this: who's the wide receiver you like the most besides Hunter in this draft?
I see Luther Burden to me. I just don't see him run away from nobody like I want to.
What's that dude that played for Texas?
That would be available at 33.
Matthew Golden, Isaiah Bond. Golden will be a first-round pick.
He got some juice.
But I thought Isaiah Bond was supposed to be way faster than that. He was talking about 4.2. He was 4.4, mid 4.4s. No, T-Mac is cool. I just think he a little bit. He a mix between like Drake London and Mike Evans, which should be great, right?
Who's that?
Like T-Mac.
Okay.
McMillan.
Right. Okay. Is he going to be ready, available at 33, or is he gone?
Oh, no.
Probably a first-round pick.
He's first.
All right. Well, let's say Ibuka, because he'll be available around that time, right?
Yeah,
potentially.
So, again, would you rather have Shedeur and Ibuka, or is it Ibuka? Am I saying his name wrong?
Yeah.
Or would you rather have
Hunter and Shuck?
Hunter and Shuck, or in your case, Hunter and Dart?
Now, I've always said that I'm
perfect world, you get Hunter and Sanders. It's not going to happen.
I'm not opposed. I'm not going to be mad at all at Travis Hunter, and Jackson Dart. But the reality is, you have to get back up.
They're going to have to. They would. But for Dart, you don't have to get up to 3. Probably.
Yeah, I wouldn't be.
You have to get up to 20 or 19 or 18.
Yes.
Mel Kipe had him going 9 in his last mock.
All right, well, that's one mock.
I'm just saying.
But here's another thing. They need a bridge quarterback then, and they're going to have to sign. They're going to have to oversign for Russell Wilson, and under no circumstances is Kenny Pickett working his way in here.
Yeah.
No. You are a third.
Now we could get crazy and say they'd be better off losing to get another top pick next year for this young quarterback.
They won't make it.
The Browns are not picking in the top 10 next year unless they trade.
Fine. All right. So in the end, if you had to choose, last thought, what are you doing? Which combo are you taking?
Shedeur and Hunter. I mean, and Emeka.
My first combo is give me the second best quarterback on the board.
Okay. Shedeur and Emeka it is.